This is the Mariners Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What a sport, man.
I know.
What a sport. I'm going to apologize in advance. There may be a couple times where I break down a little bit.
Big old same, man. Let him all out, buddy. This is what this is all about.
During that eighth inning, that's about as happy as I've ever felt as a Mariners fan. This is now the closest the Mariners have ever been to the World Series. And it felt so nice to get that tonight. The Mariners win 6-2 over the Toronto Blue Jays. And you get two absolutely massive home runs from Cal Raleigh and Eugenio Suarez. And God, Chris said it in our group chat that I'm with him with Nathan Bishop and Chris and Ian Furness and myself and Mike Benton, KJR boys. Redemption arcs are crazy, right? He just hasn't been nearly good enough since he's come to Seattle. But man alive, did he more than make up for it today. Not just for the go-ahead grand slam. The solo shot was huge as well, guys.
Yeah.
And I love to see it. These moments are what make baseball so special. This is the Mariners Postcast. I'm Anderson Hurst. That's Chris Crawford. I'm going to allow Chris to just take the floor for a second while I gather myself, man.
I'll do my best. I mean, I just don't know if anything I can even say makes sense, to be completely honest with you. This is the biggest one in Mariner history. It's not even close. The closest, I think, is a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I actually think it is the win over the Angels to get into the postseason, because without that win, you don't have baseball in Seattle.
In 95,
and all that stuff in 1995. Without that win, nothing happens.
Yeah.
But this is different because you're now one win away from reaching the World Series. You're now one win away from playing for a championship, and it didn't look good. It looked real bad, and I was lamenting that. I was thinking, man, I really don't want this to be the penultimate episode. I really want something to go out on a high. And oh boy, do we go out on a high. And all of the bonkers managerial decisions in this game.
Jeez. I don't care.
All of these
I don't care.
Terrible offense for 7.5 innings. All of it just pushed away. I Hadoukened it. I King Kamehameha it. Whatever it is you call it in Dragon Ball Z. I'm a little bit still stunned.
Yeah.
I sobbed when that ball went over the fence. Just sobbed. Just absolutely sobbed. And oh my God. You know what? Real quick, let me just get this out of the way. I was kind of harsh on the Seattle Mariner crowd in Game 3 and Game 4. You guys freaking rocked today.
Oh, dude,
rocked. And it was really cool. This is really cool, guys. The Seattle Mariners are one win away from going to the World Series. Good vibes only.
Good vibes only. And I don't know what it is about this team. It seems like they play their best when their backs up or against the wall a little bit. When kind of they're riding the highs, it almost feels like they're too loose. But when or not even too loose. I almost think they came into this 3-game home stand, I guess you could say, this 3-game home with a little too much pressure, kind of knowing, hey, like, you can get it done. You don't even have to win all 3. You can win 2 of the 3 and you go to the World Series. Now that we're at the point where that can't happen, you obviously have to go back to Toronto for Game 6 and hopefully not Game 7, but we'll see. But I think they're going to be locked in again. I have a weird feeling that because they had the taste of what it might be like to not get the job done, they're like, no, we're not doing that. Today just changed everything. I'm sorry, today changed everything for me. I was about ready to come on and yell and be angry and be like, what a wasted opportunity. And I realized that even if the Mariners had lost today, their season would still be alive. But this is such a big difference. The Softy on KJR today, if you guys listen to KJR, he made a really good point. This might have been the biggest game in terms of range of outcomes and just emotions in Mariner history. Like if
Maybe
you lose
Seattle
this
Force
game,
history.
Yeah. Honestly, if you lose this game, it's like the Mariners are doing it again. Huge missed opportunity. If you win this game, you're one win away from the World Series, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was feeling pretty down, man. I was getting ready to be pretty somber in this episode, and behind the scenes, Anders said, "Hey, I'm not going to the game today. I'm going to be hosting today," and I was freaking relieved because I just didn't think I had it in me. I didn't have it in me, and Anders, I think we both would have been struggling right now to. Man, it's so hard not to swear because I just want to yell out.
I was about ready to swear in the other way if this had been
1,000%, 1,000%. Yeah, like what I've done in some videos before, Anders, is I have put the mute button on and just screamed the word into the microphone.
Make sure you have the mute button on.
I may need to do that. I may need to do that Sunday and Monday. We'll see. But I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It. How do you even break this down, right? Like, how do you even break this down? I don't know how we do our jobs today, guys.
I mean, I start with the big moments, obviously, and then let's work backwards.
Okay.
First of all, Munoz comes in and looks excellent, and I realize you're up by 4 at that point. Anyone who's questioning him coming in, guys, he hasn't pitched since Sunday, and you have a day off. You're using Munoz there. You want to absolutely make sure, if for nothing else, to get him some pitches, right?
Yeah, and he's pitching game 6, and if he has to pitch game 7, he has to pitch game 7. It makes no sense to save him for any situation. Yeah. You could be down 14-1. And you're still bringing in Munoz, right? Like you have to bring in your closer. You're not saving him for game 8. That's not something that exists. You have to use your guy. He looked great. His command was perfect. It was great to see, considering he hadn't pitched in a while. I don't think he had pitched since game 1, I believe, of this series. So it was awesome to see. Can I give you my unsung hero right now?
Let's do it. Yeah,
it's Randy Goddamn Arozarena.
Yes.
The catch that he makes, that robbed a homer. I've watched that replay over and over again. That ball was going to go over the fence. Randy Arozarena took a run away. And instead of a 3-1 game, it's one swing of the bat ties the game, and then you see what happens. It's such a different game. We've talked about being down 2-1 in series stuff. It's even bigger in games. It's a huge difference between a bloop and a blast and just a blast, right? That play saved the Seattle Mariners season. Not as much as the Grand Slam, of course, but Randy Arozarena making that leaping catch, and you know what? Wearing it. Not getting out of the way of that baseball. Fight or flight, nope. He stuck in there. He took it, and he did the best thing for the Seattle Mariners in that situation. Good for you, Randy gosh damn Arozarena.
Yeah, 2 things for me. Number 1, it's weird when he's the better corner outfielder.
Oh my God.
We'll get to that later. I almost forgot about it, but that reminded me of that. Number 2, my unsung hero, unsung moment, I'll say, because there's still some questions whether he had a good game today. Dan Wilson, thank you for not bunting when it was first and second, nobody out.
Yeah.
Now I realize Randy Arozarena has literally never bunted in his career. But still, thank you for not bunting. And Chris, we've talked about it so many times, playing for the big inning. And it's not even just because you get the grand slam. Bunting is like, you limit a ton of your outcomes, right? Versus if you let the guy just take the at bat, you can walk, you can get hit by a pitch, you can get a wild pitch, you can get a hit, you can get in a productive out still by swinging it. Like, that is why we don't like it. I'm not want to fixate on that, but I just
no, that's a great point. And my biggest thing, what a manager does best. The number one thing a manager does is something that we can't see, so it's hard to quantify. It's the clubhouse. It's keeping those guys ready. It's keeping those guys
motivated. Which I think Dan's actually really good at.
I think he's great at it too. I think that the spiritual side of Dan Wilson, let's just call it that, has really helped the Seattle Mariners. Vibes police, and also other stuff. Let's just be honest here.
No, I know.
The other thing is putting your players in their best position to succeed. And the Mariners' best position to succeed is not having Randy Arozarena try to lay one down. It's hard enough to sacrifice bunt. Asking somebody like Randy Arozarena, who's literally never done it and doesn't have it in his skill set, that's silly. That's absolutely silly. Let him be a patient hitter. That's when he's at his best. I know everybody was screaming about how many fastballs he was taking. And yeah, it was frustrating to me too. And I'm glad they moved him down in the order. Put him in position to succeed. And the best position there was him showing his patience, wearing that pitch, and giving Eugenio Suarez a chance for the biggest swing in Seattle Mariner history.
Yeah, and I mean, do you want to say anything about Gino's home run before we get to Cal's? Because I think that gets a little overshadowed here.
Yeah, just he looks so much better. And honestly, he looks so much better. He hits that line drive, to the opposite
his second
field.
at bat. Yes.
And the thing is, I'm even going further back than that, Anders. The run that he drove in game 4.
Oh, yeah.
To, which should have set up a big inning, but unfortunately, Big Grumper decided other things were more important in there, and we won't talk about that anymore. But he looks much more, I hate the term locked in. He's seeing the baseball better. He is seeing the baseball so much better than he has. And we've talked about this a lot. Eugenio Suarez is a streaky ass hitter. And it won't shock me at all if he's locked in for these potentially 2 games in Toronto as well. Terrific piece of hitting, going the opposite way, using his strength. At worst, you're going to get the sac fly there and take the lead. But instead, you put the baseball game to night. That was incredible.
Incredible. Biggest, I mean, it's hard to say because both Cal and Gino's home run, I put them together. Those 2 are the biggest home runs in Seattle.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
Both
and the double's always going to be the most famous hit for the Mariners.
It will.
And part of that is because it has the greatest call in Mariner history attached to it. Let's be honest. And it's not Brent Musburger. It is Dave Niehaus with that call. But you can't be more clutch than that. You simply can't, unless it's Cal Raleigh, right? Because with your season on the line, should we take a commercial break and then we can talk?
Yeah, let's talk about the big dumper home run after the break here on the Mariners Postcast. Anderson Nurse, Chris Crawford. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out with us. The Mariners just won the biggest game in their history. I think they are now closer to the World Series than they ever have been. One more win, guys. One more win, and I'm not even saying one more win and then everything's done, because you obviously can go win the World Series at that point, but one more win to do something that you've never done in your entire history. This has been a ton of fun. All right, we'll be right back. We'll talk about big dumper home run, and then we usually start with the start, but I kind of want to talk about pitching in the second half here because we had to talk about those big moments. So we'll be right back here on the Mariners Postcast. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is a super fun, super simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections, like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley running for a touchdown, and you're in the game. I just love how easy it is. Like, some people are super into kind of fixating their perfect betting slip, where you can go into super nitty-gritty details. Prize Picks is as simple as it gets. All you do is more or less for whatever they show you. You can put together a slip and you can get paid for it. It's awesome. So I am a huge fan of it, and it's so much fun. Highly recommend Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. The NFL season's here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet. Put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Hey, maybe your thing is betting, right? If you like to get into the nitty-gritty, find every little, future that you like. Maybe you could put together a parlay for a game, over-unders, like prop bets, live betting, whatever your thing is, FanDuel has you covered. And the app, it makes it super easy to follow all of your bets in one place. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Welcome back to Mariners Postcast. Anderson Hurst, Chris Crawford here. I have now gathered myself a little bit. I apologize. Well, actually, I don't really apologize.
No,
I think getting emotional is a good thing, and
absolutely
it makes things real.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to do it with you, Chris Crawford, and you guys that are listening and watching us, however you may be consuming the Mariners Postcast here. We go live right after every single Mariner baseball game, have all season long. And man, I am glad that we are continuing to do this, Chris. So, let's talk about Big Dumper's home run, because Gino's obviously took the lead. He just needed a sac fly, just took a great swing, but Big Dumper's leading off the inning, down by 1 run, down to your last 6 outs, not in your season, but in going really behind the 8 ball here. Game 5 is always a big pivotal game in 7-game series. So talk about how big that moment was from Cameron.
It's so massive. I mean, you're down to your final 6 outs, and really you're down to the final 6 outs of the season. I know that they could possibly go win 2 in Toronto, right? That's totally possible. It's asking a lot. It's asking a lot to win 4 games against Toronto in Toronto when you've won 4 straight postseason games against them. But I'll be just honest. My thoughts when that ball was hit were, he got it, but did he hit it too high? Did he hit it too high? And that ball was in the air for 45 seconds, and I don't care what anyone tells me. That went so long. Should
we say our unsung hero is the roof being closed tonight?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's not a bad little point. That's not a bad.
Seriously, that might be blown back in.
Oh my gosh. And it just hung in the air so long, and it was probably just me having, in the movie moment, that 3 seconds from a football play actually ends up taking like a minute and a half.
Yeah, it does. It just
remember the Titans. I know some people love that movie, but it's very guilty of that sure. But that's just such a clutch piece. And what's the most impressive thing about that homer, other than everything? I shouldn't say the most impressive. One of the underrated things there, I believe that's the first swing he's made right-handed in this series.
It is. It 100% is. They've said it on the broadcast the first time, and that's a wild decision. I guess, honestly, I don't know. If I'm Blue Jays Postcast, I'm like, on one hand, he's been so good right-handed all year, but on the other hand, he hasn't hit it right-handed all series.
No, and, the other thing there is you have the platoon advantage of him. You have the platoon advantage against Polanco, who's been better right-handed this year than left-handed.
Correct.
And then you have the major platoon advantage against Naylor, right? So that has a lot to do with it. And I give John Smoltz a hard time. I thought he made some really good points today, including that one. Like, that's the reason why the lefty's in here, right?
Yes.
And the Mariners have a chance to take advantage of it because you have to have the lefty for Naylor there. You have to. Have to. It ends up blowing up in their face. And then some terrific takes from Polanco and Naylor, both in that at bat as well, to draw the free passes, to get on base as well. Man, what a huge moment though for both of those guys. And MVP.
So let's I think that kind of covers the offense. I want to talk about pitching here in the last little bit. Let's work backwards. We talked about Munoz a little bit. What do you think of Brian Woo's usage today?
So there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I like that they gave him a clean inning to start. I think it would have been a massive mistake to say, runner on second base, hey, guy who hasn't pitched in a month, hey, guy who's never made a relief appearance in the major leagues, hey, guy who is known to wear his emotions on his sleeve, let's put you in this situation. That would have been a lot, right? A lot. So I like that Dan went with the clean inning. I don't like that Dan waited an inning too late for that to be the clean
interesting.
They should have gone to Woo to begin the 5th. That's when I would have done it. And, this leads into Bryce Miller. And I saw a lot of people complaining about the removal of Bryce Miller. First of all, heads up to Bryce Miller for battling, scrapping through, getting through that game without giving up a run until he ends up leaving the game. So he gets charged for 1. To say he was playing with smoke and fire there is the understatement of understatement.
I think it was 3 straight leadoff doubles.
The Blue Jays had everything timed. Everything timed. Thank God. By the way, one of the most unsung moments of this game because you forget about it because it was so freaking long ago. The play by Cal Raleigh to make sure that ball doesn't go foul on the double play.
Yes.
To make sure he pounced on that Futhermucker, to make sure that he steps on the plate and makes the throw to first. And also terrific stretch by Josh Naylor there because it was not a great throw to first base, but it ends up working out. You absolutely were. Miller was done. My issue was giving Miller another batter. I don't understand that whatsoever. He gave you those 4 scoreless. God said to you, or whatever entity you believe in, but I'm going with God today, baby. Whatever you believe in, he gave you that chance. He said, we gave you 4 innings of scoreless. Don't push us.
Don't push it.
Don't take that apple from that tree. Okay? Go to somebody else here. And then Brash just leaves. And I question the pitch sequencing here too, right? Why 3 straight sliders there?
Would you have gone to Brash? Would you have gone to someone else?
I probably would have gone to.
See,
I think I would have stuck with Brash.
Okay.
I think I would have stuck with Brash. The swing and miss stuff there, there's no runner at second, so I'm less worried about the wild pitch situation, which is the thing I worry about.
It's just a run on first, yes.
But I question the pitch selection there. Why three straight sliders? Why not the fastball up and in? Real quick on the George Springer situation. I hope he's okay. I don't blame anybody who didn't feel terrible for George Springer today. At the same time, never boo injuries. Never boo, never cheer injuries. It's not cool. It's not cool to cheer somebody being hurt.
So I also think that there are situations you boo him when he comes up to bat. It's George Springer, involved in the cheating scandal, Astros, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant to me. With the whole injury thing, I don't know. For the longest time, whenever I've heard someone kind of, and I guess it depends on how heavy the cheer is. If it's like kind of a sarcastic, hey, get him out of here.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think this is a great point here. I think there were a lot of Jays fans booing that he got hit.
That's
kind of Mariner fans cheering him getting hit, right?
And when I hear cheering when someone's walking off injured, it's almost like, okay, give him a clap. I don't view that as, oh yeah, we got him injured.
As long as that's what it is, that's fine. But I'm just saying it's a bad look to be like, yes, we knocked this guy out or something along those lines. That's not my favorite.
It's not great, but I don't care.
I will. I care a little bit. I'm that again. I'm the guy who roots for the bad guys in Law and Order, not to be the villains. I am that sucker. But I'm hopefully he's okay, and hopefully he doesn't play in Game 6 and Game 7. It makes them worse. I'm sorry. That makes me feel kind of crappy, but I don't want to watch George Springer hit. He's been a wagon this year.
He's been the best hitter in this series. Now, I know Vlad's kind of come up lately. So that leads to my next question. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, please.
I just want to keep going because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. What do you think about walking Vlad as much as I did today?
The first decision to intentionally walk Vlad Guerrero was one of the worst decisions I've seen this year. And I was so relieved that it works out. You cannot put the winning run on first. As good as that guy is, you cannot put the leading run on first base in that situation. There's just way too much baseball left to be played. Later, after the 5th inning, walk that guy all you want, right? Like, it's that guy has the chance to be the difference maker. And all due respect to Alejandro Kirk, the bane of my existence right now, because I just feel so uncomfortable every time he comes to the plate. Like, good Lord. And a lot of people are going to disagree, by the way, on the Vladdy walk thing. There's math that points out that I'm right and you're wrong.
Well, explain the first one. I think there was a leadoff double. You're up 1-0. Then they walk Vladdy. Is this with Matt Brashin at this point? I think. Is it still with Miller?
It's the 4th inning. They walk Miller to put runners on first and second. Then Miller walks Alejandro.
That's
Kirk
right, to load the bases.
And that's the other reason about an intentional walk. Guys, when you put guys on base, when you allow other things to happen, it becomes amplified so much worse.
Right.
So much worse. You still have a 65% chance of getting Vladimir Guerrero Jr. out. I know it doesn't feel like it, but sometimes the math does kind of matter. And Foursquare, math doesn't matter for the Mariners. Come on, we know this. Math and science are the two things that we get to ignore when we're passionate, right? But Credit to Miller for getting, I believe, the strikeout of Dalton Varsho for the first out.
Yes.
And then that terrific play by Dumper. And that ball is millimeters from going foul. Millimeters.
And he has to jump on that quickly before it goes
jump
foul.
on that real quick there. The only other thing I really want to talk about, the only negative I have to talk about in this game.
Dom Canzone.
And, I felt so bad for Canzone when that ball just barely goes foul. Just barely.
It would have been perfect redemption for him.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I was ready to title this thing Redemption if it would have been.
That would have been perfect.
It would have been great. It also would have been stealing an episode of Entourage title. Shout out Entourage, a show that was on 20 years ago, probably before you were even born. That throw to home plate was probably the worst throw I've seen this year. I mean, did you see this stat, Anders? Do you know how many times Alejandro Kirk scored from second base this year?
That was his first time. And not only that, it was the first time they've sent him.
Yes,
1,000% from second.
And look, Dom Canzone's arm strength is normally fine. If you take a look at the Savant page, I think he's even actually above average.
Doesn't know where it's going.
Yikes. And the other thing that's underrated there, and again, they win the game. That's all great, but we have to react to this type of stuff. And there's a reason why Victor Robles is brought in the ninth inning as a defensive replacement. I don't know if Robles catches that ball from Kirk on the double from Brian Will.
I was thinking that.
But he gets to it quicker, and that's not a double. Not with that guy running to second base.
Big beefy boy.
He is a big
little beefy boy.
He's a little beefy boy. He's just Will guy, but him just wide guy too. Really good player. Alejandro Kirk is a really good.
It should have been first and second.
Right. It's a big difference.
Yes.
Big difference. And the other thing was, and credit to Wu for getting out of it, that throw allows the runner to get to second base.
Right.
And that's really nerve-wracking because if you fall down by 2 in this game, I don't know, but you don't. And wow. I'm out of words.
Yeah, I am too. This is like, I just keep trying to put myself in this moment that I just witnessed probably the biggest Mariner win in history. Now, again, stakes, you'll probably say 95 when
Jason says he looked like Kirk was running in Sandra. He really did. Like, it kind of looked like, and again, I'm not fat shaming. Look at this beautiful body. I can't do that. But what I
beautiful body.
He is a slow man. If you guys have ever seen the Simpsons episode where Homer is running on the treadmill, it kind of looked like that.
But it doesn't matter because the Mariners win this one 6-2. That is about as what's the word I'm looking for? The score doesn't indicate what the game was as it gets.
No, this was not a 4-run win. Lord, no, this wasn't a 4-run
win. No, it was not. Because Eugenio Suarez hits the biggest home run of his career right after Cal Raleigh hits the biggest home run of his career in the biggest inning in Mariners history. And they are now one game away from one win away from the World Series. I just keep saying that. I keep thinking it. The Mariners are one win away from the World Series. I'll let you end this one, Chris Crawford. What are your last words?
Let's go Mariners.